get over your fears and do it.
Yeah.
So here I ended up.
There you go. We are now live on Periscope, which Hayley is going to kill me because she just said to me, "Oh, I didn't have to get dressed up because I was coming on radio."
Yeah.
Sorry, forgot to mention that, didn't I? Never mind.
Yeah, I had no idea that was coming. Else I really would have put my face on. Because right now I really do have a face for radio. So,
It's
thanks.
good for you. People like to see you as you are.
It's all part of the brand.
Can you tell us a bit about your what was it, 16 hours on the street or something?
Oof.
Was it 16?
Oof! Yes. Yes, we can.
Well, so far, all we do know is the coldest night of the year so far. I think that one night we chose to.
It snowed. It snowed.
It was snowing at 6 a.m.
Okay. It came about because I was at an open door trustee meeting, and I was listening to the financial conversation, and I'm not going to say too much about that because it is personal information, but I left a little bit concerned about the state of the finances for Open Door, and I wanted to do something immediately. We've got a long-term strategy in place to appeal to corporate businesses and to all corporates listening. Please do support us. We would really, really like your support.
Definitely appreciate that.
But we just need to do something to raise money now.
Yeah.
So I spoke to some friends and some of my Phoenix thinkers actually, some existing clients, and I said, this is the plan. I think we should spend a night actually on the streets, go and do some Blair Witch style videos of how it is, and just really rough it. And that's exactly what we've done, and it was such a surprise, wasn't it?
But I think it was more, Richard, by the way, was sleeping on the streets on this day. Okay then.
Yeah.
like a wife. So that's fine. It's fine. We'll sleep in the streets. What's the plan, Hayley? It can be cold.
Yeah, and literally my plan was we're sleeping on the streets. There is no plan.
That was it.
We'll meet at this time. That's it.
Have you raised money?
Yeah.
So you had no sort of preconceptions, no.
We were told to avoid Campbell Park in the evening. Because it can get a bit rowdy.
Right.
Because
so where did you go for that advice? I mean, was that from the local organisation?
That was from Open Door. I was speaking to the coordinator and the advisor because they know all the hotspots.
Absolutely.
And not all. That is a real misconception that really gets up my nose. Not all people on the streets do have drink and drug issues, but a majority do.
Yes.
And Campbell Park can be a bit of a dangerous place at night. So we decided we were just going to drift and see where we ended up. And we ended up down at the train station.
Right.
And we had a reporter from 1MK and MK News with us.
Yeah.
And it was life-changing. As an experience, it was incredible.
Did you give them the same brief? By the way, follow us around for 16 hours. We're going to live
She
in the
only
street.
got involved at the last minute. She said, I was wondering if I could come. And I said, yeah, if you donate, that's fine. I said, raise some money and you can go.
Put your hand in your pocket and come and live on the streets for a week.
It was all about the promotion, wasn't it? To get to donate to the actual cause, and it was a massive donation.
Can people still donate? How do they give you money?
I can raise a new Just Giving page pretty swiftly if people want to get involved and donate.
Okay, well, I think get that done, and I'll make sure that we give that some publicity for you.
That's brilliant.
But I think the shocker for us was we were expecting hostility.
Yeah.
And we didn't get it.
Oh my
Not
goodness,
so far from it. They were absolutely lovely.
We were looked after.
We looked after.
We found these 3 homeless guys. I'm going to protect their names, but they were just amazing. They offered us their blankets.
They were wanting to buy us with the money. They got tea and coffee.
Yeah, they had some money, and you look really cold. Do you want a coffee or something? And we're like, no, we're doing this for one night. You keep your money.
Yeah, you're going to be here tomorrow. We're going to be tucked up in a nice warm bed.
One took me skip diving, which is a little bit naughty, but it was so interesting as well to see what our local businesses are throwing away.
Do you know? I think it is. Well, we do throw tons away, don't we? And for no reason.
Yeah, it's hilarious that the concept of skip diving is criminal. When you look inside the biffa bins, that's what's criminal to me.
And really, if you're being slightly controversial, but if you're being tidy, so you rummage through the skip, you take the food that you can take, and you leave it clean. Well, it's clean as the skip area
again. They've not been caught, Dave?
Yeah. Really? Are you hurting anybody?
No.
And you know what? It was some of the products that they got out. You just could not believe you were throwing that sort of food away. It was just absolutely.
I think we are looking at removing sell-by dates on food, aren't they? They're talking about taking that away now.
Well,
there's no real need for it. Let's face it.
Yeah.
And something's wrong.
Yeah.
A lot of it's wrong. A lot of it's let's err really on the side of caution so that we don't end up in any trouble and nobody can come after us. Well, come on,
Yeah.
We should all know how to tell if the piece of cheese is right or not. We shouldn't we?
Exactly. It's just ridiculous. so much waste goes on.
It does.
So yeah, we went skip diving. We were looked after. There was a really interesting incident where I was talking to a gentleman while he was waiting for his train, and he was a typical suit.
Mm-hmm.
And there was also one of the homeless guys standing with me. And to start with, he wouldn't make any eye contact with this homeless guy standing to my side,
Right.
and would just have a conversation with me. And I started trying to involve the homeless guy in the conversation with the three of us, because I was like, don't blank him. He's
Still a
standing there with
person.
me. He's human. And by the end of it, this suit was sat down on their blankets buying them all tea.
Well, look, if nothing else, I mean, it's quite clear that you had a huge impact, and you got both of you got a good
A
understanding of what it's
massive
like.
experience there, and we just we sort of really understood when people walk past you and ignore you and don't really want to look, and that awkwardness.
Oh,
you felt all that, didn't you?
Yeah, it was horrendous. Watching people look through somebody was really awful.
Yeah.
Really, really
I mean,
awful.
at least you can do, you know, if you've got any change, go, well, I'm really sorry, I haven't got any change on me today. You know, just an acknowledgement. The majority of people out there, as you said, on the streets are perfectly pleasant guys.
Yes.
And they're there, they don't want to be there.
Yeah,
No.
do you know what? I found that the three people I encountered that night, and I can't say it on behalf of all homeless people, because, you know, you are going to get bad eggs. You do
that,
circles.
yeah, absolutely.
But they were kinder to me than the majority of suits I've ever worked with.
Wow.
And
Yes.
it could happen to anyone. Anybody.
Especially at the moment, isn't it? It's a bit of
Yeah.
a tough time at the moment
You
for
could be sitting
just anybody.
comfortably in your house and then not be able to meet mortgage payments at the end of the next couple of months, and you're out.
Yeah. And a lot of it is lack of information. They didn't have access to the information they needed. We've actually got one of them housed since.
Yes, I saw this on
It's
Facebook.
brilliant,
And
it's
that's
really
amazing.
Yeah, he showed us where to sleep so that we'd be safe, and we went back to his little hotspot that he slept in.
Yeah.
All together, and he was really sweet and looked after us. And he was an insulin-dependent diabetic on the streets.
Ooh.
His medication should be kept in the fridge. Luckily,
I mean,
I
it's cold
suppose,
enough
it was
that
cold
night,
enough
yeah.
that night that there was no issue. But we took some time out and we went up to the job centre, and I spoke to a few experts in housing and things like that. We got him into temporary accommodation within a few days, and he called me last week. Was it last week?
Was last week?
It was last week.
To say
that he's just been offered a permanent house, and he's the happiest he can remember being in a long, long time.
So that's from one night.
That's from one night.
That's from one night and meeting three guys. One of them's already off the
He
streets.
needed the encouragement, and Hayley was amazing because she went with him and she took him to get the information and fill in the forms and just get the encouragement for him to actually change this.
Yeah.
And the information, because he didn't really understand what he was.
I was gonna say,
anything else like that. So that was the time taken on Hayley's part. It was no one else other than Hayley that done
But
it.
that's what Open Door are aiming to do with the right funding. We have an advisor, but the time's stretched and so are the resources. We want more funding so that we can do that. We're all about information.
How do people give to Open? Has Open Door got a website?
Get on their website and give, please.
Fantastic.
You don't need anything for Christmas. Give your money to Open Door
What
instead.
is the website for Open Door?
It's Open Door MK. If you chuck that into Google, it'll come straight up.
Fantastic, and I think
It's excuse the look of it. It's currently undergoing redevelopment, courtesy of MK Web Guy, free of charge, because he's an absolute diamond.
Yeah,
He
he's
wants us
also
to get
developing
involved.
our website, so big up to him.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
Thanks, Nigel.
Thanks, Nigel.
I mean, where do you see it going? Because I've got this this slight beef in my bonnet, if you like, about some of the commercial stuff that is empty at the moment in Milton Keynes.
Okay.
And there's some hello, periscopers.
About that big store in the centre of the Milton Keynes.
Yeah,
Well, there's that
vacant
one.
building that everyone's up in arms about. That'd be what you mean.
Well, not that one actually.
No?
It's some of the smaller scale commercial. You know the commercial units that we've got where we used to kind of have multi-tenant occupancy buildings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because of the nature of some of these buildings, they were built in the 70s and the 80s, and they no longer are really suitable for what we need.
Yeah.
Without massive reconstructive work on them, which is it's just not financially viable. For example, there's a lot of concrete in them. Wi-Fi doesn't travel well around them. There's no room for cabling, and when they were built, nobody planned, the computer revolution to be what it's become. Now these buildings currently sit empty with landlords, trying to find rent, and there's one opposite, up by the hub, opposite Jury's Inn in there. There's a building with a big banner on the top. I can't remember the building.
Yeah, storage, office space for rent.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
These things are just bit by bit slowly becoming less and less occupied.
Yep.
The small businesses now tend to work from home, and all of this.
Yeah.
If you look at the layout and the structure of that building, right, it is effectively, it's got a managed reception area with maybe 100 small office units.
Yeah.
How much hassle is that to make that bed sit? It isn't, is it?
Well,
you've got a managed entrance and 100 self-contained pods.
Okay, I understand the logic and I understand people's enthusiasm for it. I actually signed a petition to open Sainsbury's myself,
That's how as it goes.
I'm not against it.
Even if it's just for Christmas, you know.
Well,
it's
the
a place
problem with that is, it's reactive. Where's the proactivity? I agree completely with what you say.
Yeah.
And when we were at some councillor-run homeless summit meeting thing that was going on last week, it was talked about, and what we were all agreeing was that yes, we do need to open some of the commercial buildings, but there needs to be support in place. So if you could have your CRI in there giving drug advice.
This is what I'm thinking about the multi-tenant units. You've got the reception, so therefore you've got an element of security and somebody there to look after people.
Yeah, there needs to be wardens, there needs to be different interventions within the premises.
At the moment, the whole thing is so fragmented. I mean, there are a lot of people wanting to help, and especially at this time of year. And when we were out on the streets, we did find so many people dropping off food and food parcels and trying to help. It's so fragmented in what we're trying to achieve in this area. So it's almost like it needs to be pulled together.
You need somebody to actually bring everyone.
Bring it all together.
That's what is being looked at now. People are looking to, like, we now Open Door. We've now got a much stronger bond with Help Our Homeless MK, which are almost 2,000 strong group of volunteers that go out and they work in the evenings, giving out sort of clothing, bedding, tents, and things to keep the homeless warm and dry. So we're now looking at having a stronger bond with them.
Okay, let's put it out there. You know, this is. I am David Stimson. This is Transition. You are listening to Secular Sounds. If you're a charity out there, or an organisation, it doesn't have to be a charity. If you're anybody, an organisation, business, one of the big supermarkets, anything along the lines like that.
We could definitely use some big supermarkets. Where is your conscience? Get involved.
Absolutely. Get involved with Open Doors. Drop them a line. It may be that you're not the right fit for Open Doors,
but we can point you out.
You can put to the right place.
Absolutely.
So if you've got something that you think can help in any way, shape, or form, please do get in touch with these guys, and let's see if we can help Open Doors become that portal to help everything else in
This happens all year round.
Yeah, it's not just Christmas.
It's not just Christmas.
It might be nice to sleeping under the stars in the summer, but it's still going to be cold at some point.
Well, Christmas we think about it.
Yeah, so really we need to think about it.
Which is why the idea of Sainsbury's, although I did sign the petition, it's a knee-jerk reaction.
Oh, that's just the stopgap, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's
why
not
can't
the future.
people be this passionate about it in summer so that it's in place for the following winter, rather than say when it's at your doorstep and people are cold and suffering from hypothermia? Oh, look, we should do something.
Do you find the dark nights draw people's attention to it? And I think that's probably because the homeless start bedding down as it gets dark, from what I've seen.
I think
so
it is. When you look, you see it when you're at the station by 4 o'clock in the afternoon. You notice it. You're cold. You're physically getting
and you start noticing your surroundings more.
I definitely do think it is that when you're rocking around at 9 o'clock at night on a summer's evening in a pub.
You don't see it.
It's all fun, yeah.
It's all fun. You don't notice, but it definitely is the colder days and the colder evenings that do.
Yeah.
But it still happens all the time.
And even in the summer, I mean, one of the worst parts for me was Richard actually had to go and walk the reporter back to her car, and I was left awake on my own.
Right.
And I was like, it was probably only about 40 minutes, but I was terrified. I don't really scare easily. I'm a bit of a Rottweiler.
Unless you're coming on the radio.
Yeah, that's it. But I was so scared, absolutely terrified.
Because I'm so strong and macho, I'm going to protect you.
Hang on a minute.
I'll be reading that way, Hayley.
There we go. Let's just get the periscope. So that was what was it again, Richard? You were
so strong and macho. I'm going to protect you.
Oh, hang on. That's been asked. Let's have a shot of the tattoo for the periscope.
Okay, go.
Done by Colourful Creations.
Because you're getting, I'll get you on again. Do you
know what? They are my friends. They're not business owners. They're individual small businesses in Milton Keynes that deserve a plug. So yes, I'm going to.
Absolutely, I agree.
You might even encourage me to have a tattoo.
Are you going to get an Ascension tattoo?
Maybe. We'll see in the future.
Excellent.
We'll be back in a few minutes. This is Secular Sounds Community Radio from Milton Keynes. Richard and Hayley here talking, well, kind of all things really community, and we'll be back shortly after this. Well, I mean, we're still on. Just remember, we are still broadcasting on Periscope.
Okay.
So the video is still streaming away, and I will send you. Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll send you the video as well.
Hello, Periscopey people.
Let's point the camera at you.
Right.
Crazy hair.
There we go.
Yeah, got crazy
Crazy hair.
hair.
Excellent.
Definitely not crazy
As
hair.
Richard, yeah, there it is.
For someone who didn't think I'd be able to talk, I'd not shut up.
You never shut up. I don't know.
This is why we're friends.
You're the first time I traveled out in the
Thank you so much for the water. It's really
That you're
good.
welcome.
You're the first time I traveled
Oh,
out.
I'm having birthday celebrations at 7:30 tonight.
Ah, yeah, I know it was your birthday.
Yeah.
And then bigger celebrations on Saturday.
Yeah.
Secret celebration she doesn't know about.
I've just literally been told after I finish work I've got to jump into a taxi to an unknown location. As Richard's doing. It's worth pointing out that we're not a couple, we are just friends.
Happy birthday weekend. We're on the sled. We're sleeping back on the streets because you had such a good result last time.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll point that out, shall we?
Now I have had a tweet that says, I'm all for helping the homeless. Blah, 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 but basically, on a couple of occasions walking through the hub area,
Yes.
I said, no, sorry, I don't have any change, and had quite an abusive reaction.
Yeah.
And I think that's fair to say.
Yeah,
doesn't it?
it's completely fair. Not everybody you're going to meet is going to be sunshine and roses. I mean, one of the lads that I met is 21.
Yeah.
I personally, he's the same age as my brother, I just want to hug him all day long. He is so jaded at the world, he's been on the streets for years, he's had hypothermia twice, he's on the streets because his last remaining family member died.
Yeah.
And he is an angry kid.
Yeah.
He's angry. And yeah, okay, I'm not saying it was him, but as an example, when you understand the backstory, you can kind of understand why some of these people
I think we've also got a situation that I suspect exists here. I know it's happened in other places that I've lived, where, should we say, not all of the homeless
are
homeless.
Yeah.
And there are some, I suppose, some organised gangs that this is what they do. You know,
It's a money maker.
and well, they hit double edged, don't they? Because they intimidate the real homeless and drive them out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they're a pain when they're begging,
Yeah.
and they beg offensively, and that drives
The problem
everybody.
that
So
you
it's now
have is
everybody.
begging anyway is, naughty, shouldn't be done. But the easiest way, if you want to do something, don't give the money because you don't know where
I
it's going.
buy coffee, I
Yeah.
walk past the guy up the city. I mean, you've seen I've got a bag full of water in the boot of the car.
Yeah. I've got the same with my food,
I
actually.
walked past the guy in the city. It was roasting hot down in the summer, and he was sat there behaving,
Yeah.
not being a nuisance, but he was, sat at the edge of the hub, and I kind of walked past him, and I stopped and went back to the car, and I got sort of 3 or 4 bottles of water out of the car, and I brought them back, and I gave him 3 or 4 bottles of water.
Yeah.
I had no idea, whether he'd have rather had a tenner to go and get a cup of coffee or a bite to eat or score or whatever.
I'll
But
tell you something actually, just before I forget, because it is kind of relevant. After one night on the street,
yeah,
I can tell you now, if I was homeless, I would turn to street drugs. I have no problem saying that on air.
no, is that purely because it is that
It's
much of a miserable
horrendous.
place?
It
It's
was
horrendous.
just by sort of 7 o'clock in the morning. If I had to continue to do that for a whole day and another night and a whole day and another night,
Yeah,
Yeah.
if that was all you had to look forward
it's
to.
just a monotonous sort of a never-ending. You could, there's no way out, is there?
No.
The problem is the system we've got at the moment doesn't let you get away out
No.
because
No.
in some countries they issue PO boxes for the homeless. So if you don't have an address, you're still homeless. You at least have a post address that you can give businesses.
Yeah.
You can give it applicant, and so you've got somewhere you can go and get your mail.
I'll be honest with you, businesses and stuff, I think, seeing the mentality, the last thing on their mind is a job. At that stage,
Oh, absolutely.
it falls back to basic instinctual survival.
I'd love to see places like the gyms, open up first thing in the morning before they open up, and let the homeless come in and use the showers, and because
Open Door has showers. Another reason you should support them. Hear that, everyone on Periscope? Yeah, support Open Door.
okay, 20 seconds.
Okay, cool. We've actually spoken loads more about homelessness than like other stuff. Can you tell us something I care about?
It's good.
I'll pretend it was an ice cream. Nothing else, ice cream. I do like it, I'm a fan of this. I might have to get myself one. It makes me feel really important.
What?
Good.
Sit with the microphone.
Oh, we're back. Welcome back. I'm David Simpson. This is transitioning our new slot from 3 to the floor on a 3 to a floor 3 till 4
Almost.
on a Thursday.
You're going to broadcast until you drop it.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm here for the rest of the time now. That was a trailer there for going to make a great show on this Saturday morning. Now, we've talked about the homeless, and as much as we could go on probably for the next 2 weeks about that. And Hayley, you know, I'd love to have you guys on again. You know, let's give it a few months. Let's see how things change, and come back and tell me what's happening. So the other strings in the bow. How does the which one do you want to talk about? We've got about 10 minutes left.
Well, we've got quite a few things going on anyway in the new year, haven't we?
Yes, we are busy bees. We've just booked up every last weekend of the month, so no going out partying for us. We're going to be running weekend retreats.
So
Exactly.
And who are they aimed at?
They are aimed at my side of things, because both Richard and I will be having retreats.
Right.
My side of things is people that are burnt out, need some time out, want to reassess, need the Phoenix reboot, as I call it.
I've seen something about that. I think you tweeted something. My camera
One of
lens
the slogans is
really
reboot your mind, and we have a total system restart package, and it's basically in a group of up to 10 individuals where you can all meet, you can bond, you can be coached as a collective.
Right.
Set some new goals, reevaluate your thinking, get rid of some negativity, whilst being able to chill in a pool, have a 3-course meal and superior bedroom with 38 acres of
beautiful land.
And where's that going to be, did you say?
We're going to be having them at Hallwood House.
Yeah, it's a very nice location, so it really is to completely relax you, move you forward,
It's like
reboot your
all
whole
done.
life. It is
Yeah.
just amazing.
It's the ultimate mind makeover, baby.
And this will be
Very
great for New
lucky
Year.
for
So
that.
if you want those New Year resolutions and you actually want them to work this year, you need to come along to these things.
Yeah, New Year's resolutions aren't just until January, like the 12th.
So
That's optimistic.
we all have them, and we all say, yeah, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this, and then by sort of second to third week of January, yeah, I'm going to do this.
I made a New Year's resolution a few years ago and I stuck to it, which was to literally make no more New
No,
Year's
make no
resolutions
more,
and
yeah.
just get on with life, you know.
Yeah.
But if you do want to do something spectacular, then you should come along to this weekend and actually spend the time in the hotel with us and go through the coaching courses and the workshops and stuff. It'd be brilliant for us. It'd be brilliant for you.
And we just smooch in the evening as well.
Yeah, have some fun.
So this is kind of coaching during the daytime and then
Socialising at night, like-minded people.
Yeah.
So kind of, I mean, to swing the business element of it slightly for you, brilliant place to go if you're sort of mid-management, upper management, heavy day in the week, you know, really heavy week at work.
Or if you're a nice husband wanting to treat their wife who's frazzled out with the kids.
Absolutely.
Maybe looking at career changes. There's no reason why you shouldn't, and you should all come down.
To come along and network in the evenings, get to know people.
Yeah.
I like the idea.
So we're doing that for Phoenix Thinking, and we're also doing some Phoenix Thinking Ascension. So focusing on the LGBT issues. So and the LGBT community, I must get that right.
Yeah, it's not just. It's funny. You stick one of these things in front of you, you can't talk.
Yeah, exactly. So they'll be same sort of thing based on your based on confidence.
Do you want to
Hayley, it has to be said. You don't get lost for words, do you?
Hayley definitely doesn't.
I didn't expect it. I really didn't expect it at all. I imagined
She can talk.
I'd be a meek little. You get me on subjects I care about, though, so
Yeah,
I don't shut up. You're right.
So yeah, Phoenix Thinking Essential will do a very similar thing. So but based on the gay community, which will be last weekend of every month.
Yeah.
So we've got that the last weekend.
First one in January, 16th and 17th, isn't it? Phoenix Thinking.
Yeah.
And
So you alternating Phoenix Thinking and
yes, and then doing
Ascension.
Ascension.
We're at both each time. That way it gives people, you know, it's a little bit of money because it is a plush little spa experience at the same time. So we're giving people the opportunity to go in advance.
How do people book that with you, or is that in the pipeline?
We are going to have a massive marketing campaign coming out very shortly,
right?
And we'll give them all the information and where they can.
Yeah, they can always go on to Phoenix Thinking. We have Facebook pages. The website is being created once again by MK Webline. Thank you, Nigel. Cue the plug.
Nigel's a happy man. That's all I can say.
Nigel's never happy with me. He's always cross with me. Or you can email either Hayley or Richard at phoenixthinking.com.
Brilliant. So where do you see Phoenix Thinking or the Phoenix Empire, should we say?
I think it's going to end up being the Phoenix Group.
The group.
Yeah.
It's going to be a group.
It just
It's gonna be a
don't
group.
stop. It won't stop growing.
There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, this is something we have to mention, isn't it? Right? We are in the middle of some of the toughest times that we've had in recent years.
All depends on your mindset.
Yeah,
opinion.
absolutely. You two kind of exemplify the fact that I see so many people that say, you know, I want my business to grow, especially in my sort of professional life that's not on the road yet, and that isn't with Young Enterprise. And yeah, anyway, I see so many people that sit there and say, oh, I really want, you know, something good to happen in life.
Yeah.
And here's you two here, you know, absolutely full of energy, buzzing and going, do you know what, we are going to make this happen. It really doesn't matter. It's going to happen.
Everybody wants something positive to happen in life, but they're too busy thinking about the negative to actually see the positive right in front of them.
Yes.
It's a standard case of not being able to see the wood for the trees, and that's one of the things we work on. Because if you
Mental deforestation.
Yes, mental oh, I like that.
There you go. Right, love, you can have that.
Yeah, okay, we'll use that somewhere.
The problem is, for every mental tree you cut down, you have to plant 3 more in somebody else.
That's fine. No, we can make a little positive tree.
Yes, that's it.
Little blossom tree.
Yeah.
Pretty trees.
But yeah, everybody wants
full
good
of
things to
cherry
happen, but unless your mind's in the right place, you're never going to see the good opportunities in front of you because you're too busy focused on the negative.
I like that.
And so many people are, and it's only when you do some coaching with them and ask them the right questions that they sort of have this beautiful little epiphany and go, oh yeah!
But don't you think it's I mean, this sounds really silly, but I think it's kind of true. It's easier. We come in. I'm trying to tie into something that's been said in here before. We come from this world, definitely in the UK. Don't necessarily think it's the same everywhere else, but it's definitely here. We don't sing our own praises.
No, we don't.
No, we have to be
we're never proud of who we are.
Yeah, that stiff upper lip, that, you know...
Hugh Grant bumbling, apologetic.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. So we, by nature, if that's what you focus on, you know, you're embarrassed to go, I'm good at what I do.
I think we are ashamed as a nation. We're ashamed as a nation anyway. We're ashamed to be British. We're ashamed when people aren't proud of who they are in this country. We can work with people to do that. So the ascension part is rebuild your pride, isn't it?
Yeah.
Obviously, be
proud of
pride,
it.
Be proud of it. Be proud of being British. Be proud of what you do in work and how you live your life.
And the thing is, everybody at the moment.
And apologise. Stop it. Stop
being
apologising.
apologetic.
Stop apologising.
People are so great. I love all the pictures of the really positive quotes that go around the internet at the moment because they'll come from the most negative person you could imagine. And it's like, I just love who I am, and if you don't like it, off you go. It's like, it's great to hear you say the words. It'd be even better to see you actually walk it.
I mean, yeah.
Do it.
You know, stop talking, start walking, or shut up.
There you go. I can tell you now.
And that's what we kind of do. We punch that attitude into them.
If you go to one of these retreats,
it's great.
It's going to change your life.
We hug, we cry, we shout. It's awesome.
There is crying.
There is crying.
But don't you think if you look at the definitely transatlantic, the American attitude,
yes.
they're not afraid to say.
We regard them as arrogant.
Yeah, I think we do have to walk a fine. There's a fine line between being proud of who you are and prepared to say yes. You know,
as you can tell, we do this in a very British way.
Yeah, we're not totally.
I'm really sorry that I'm amazing at what we do.
We're amazing at being British.
But I think you've got a good idea there, and it's fresh. There's drive, there's ambition, there's passion. Great partnership between the pair of you, you know, because the fact is, this is business, and you are going to have those days where, even with the most focused mindset, you can't get into the positive parts. And the pair of you, the way you are, I think that, you know, if one of you's down, the other one's going to grab you by the neck and drag you back out the hole and say, come on, get on with it.
Do you know what, as well? The other thing is, people think that having a positive mindset is all about being happy-clappy. And it's so not. To me, if you're angry, that's bloody brilliant. Be angry.
If you're sad, be sad.
Be sad.
But no,
give yourself a time limit. Find a strategy in place to get the sad out, because keeping it in is just going to poison your mind and your body, and you're just going to feel absolutely rubbish. Find something productive to do with it. Give yourself a time limit. Allow what we call cave time. We've got the elm for, we're sad, we're in the cave.
So
And
we
we'll
just message
we'll
each
just
other.
message
Simple.
each other.
Do you know
In the
what?
cave, in the cave.
I could happily retire to a cave. I'll be
Yeah,
honest.
yeah. We
Stick me
often,
up a
have
mountain.
cave
We
for
have
rent.
cave time. Cave time.
One caveat that I do have: the
Sure.
cave must have good Wi-Fi.
Yeah, that's fine. That's
Good
fine.
Wi-Fi, so you can get your cheap